Think about the last time you fell in love, or maybe the very first time. That feeling of your heart racing when they walked into the room. The way your mind kept returning to them, no matter what you were doing. The strange certainty that this person was somehow different from everyone else. Love is the most powerful emotion a human being can experience. It has inspired poets, fascinated scientists, and shaped human history for hundreds of thousands of years. Yet despite everything we've learned, almost nobody fully understands what love really is. Because love isn't just an emotion. It's a biological system that changes the way your brain thinks, remembers, and makes decisions. In fact, the moment you fall in love, your brain begins behaving in ways that are remarkably similar to addiction. So what exactly is happening inside your mind? Why does one person suddenly become more important than everyone else? Today, we're going to discover what love really is, what it does to your brain, and why the answer is far stranger than you think. Here's the first thing science wants you to know. Love isn't magic, and it isn't just a feeling, it's chemistry. The moment you fall in love, your brain releases a precise combination of chemicals that changes the way you see the world. Your perception shifts, your judgment becomes less reliable, even your memories begin to change in subtle ways. That might make love sound less romantic, but in reality, it makes it even more extraordinary. Because these chemicals didn't appear by accident, they exist for a reason. Over millions of years, evolution built a biological system that encouraged two people to stay together long enough to protect each other and raise the next generation. Love isn't simply an emotion, it's a survival mechanism. One of the most sophisticated systems your brain has ever created. In the year 2000, neuroscientists Andreas Bartels and Semir Zeki set out to answer a simple question. What actually happens inside the brain when someone falls in love? They placed deeply in love couples inside brain scanners and showed them photographs of their partners. What they discovered changed the science of love forever. The moment people looked at the person they loved, specific areas of the brain became highly active. These were the same regions linked to reward, motivation, and addiction. But something even stranger happened. The parts of the brain responsible for critical thinking, social judgment, and negative emotions became much less active. For a moment, the brain stopped looking for flaws. Love doesn't just make you feel happier, it changes the way your brain processes reality. That's why people in love often make decisions that seem irrational to everyone else. It's not because they're foolish, it's because their brain is temporarily working in a completely different way. The chemical most responsible for the feeling of falling in love is dopamine. Dopamine is your brain's reward chemical. Every time something meaningful or pleasurable happens, your brain releases it, making you want to experience that feeling again. But love works a little differently. With most rewards, dopamine is released after you receive something. With love, it begins even before. Just thinking about the person, seeing their name on your phone, knowing you're about to meet them. That's enough to activate your brain's reward system. This is the same mechanism behind addiction. The anticipation, the craving, the constant urge to experience that feeling again. Anthropologist Helen discovered that the same neural pathways activated by cocaine addiction also become active during romantic love. That's why falling in love can feel impossible to control. Your brain isn't simply enjoying another person, it's learning to need them. But dopamine is only half the story. As the excitement of new love begins to settle, another chemical quietly takes over, oxytocin. Often called the bonding hormone, oxytocin is released during physical touch, eye contact, and moments of deep emotional connection. When you hug someone you love, your brain releases oxytocin. When a mother holds her newborn child for the first time, both of their brains release it together. Its purpose isn't excitement, it's trust, safety, connection. This is why long-term love feels so different from the beginning. New love is driven by dopamine. It's exciting, unpredictable, and obsessive. Long-term love is driven by oxytocin. It's calmer, more stable, and deeply comforting. They may feel completely different, but they're simply two stages of the same extraordinary process. But here's the question that matters most. Why do you fall in love with one specific person while everyone else feels ordinary? The answer is more complex than most people realize. Part of it begins with biology. Research suggests that humans are naturally drawn to people whose immune system genes are different from their own. Without realizing it, your brain is constantly searching for genetic compatibility, increasing the chances of healthier children. But biology is only part of the story. Psychologists have found that intense experiences can also bring people closer together. A dangerous situation, a thrilling adventure, a life-changing moment. When your heart is already racing, your brain can sometimes mistake that excitement for attraction. That's why so many love stories begin during life's most unforgettable moments. Sometimes your brain isn't just choosing a person, it's connecting them to the strongest emotions you've ever felt. So why does love exist at all? From an evolutionary perspective, the answer is surprisingly practical. Human babies are born completely dependent on others. Unlike most animals, they can't survive on their own for years. They need constant care, protection, and support. For our ancestors, raising a child was far too difficult for one parent alone. So evolution created something extraordinary, a system that encouraged two people to stay together, long enough to give their children the best chance of survival. That system is love. But love doesn't happen all at once. According to Helen, it unfolds in three distinct stages. The first is lust, driven by hormones that create physical attraction. The second is attraction, powered by dopamine, filling your mind with excitement, obsession, and the feeling that one person is unlike anyone else. The third is attachment, guided by oxytocin and vasopressin, creating the deep trust and emotional security that allows love to last for years. Different chemicals, different feelings, but all working toward the same purpose, keeping people together. Here's the part nobody wants to hear. The intense feeling of being in love isn't designed to last forever. The racing heart, the constant excitement, the feeling that this one person is the center of your universe. Biologically, that's only the beginning. Over time, your brain naturally reduces its dopamine response. The euphoria fades, not because love has failed, but because your brain is changing the relationship into something more stable. This is the moment that defines every relationship. Some people mistake the fading of excitement for the end of love. Others discover something even deeper. Research has found that couples who remain deeply in love for decades don't simply rely on chemistry. They continue creating new experiences, growing together, and choosing each other every single day. So why do humans fall in love? Not because of fate, not because of magic, because evolution built a remarkable system that helps two people trust each other, protect each other, and build a future together. The butterflies, the obsession, the quiet comfort of holding someone's hand after many years. They're all different expressions of the same extraordinary system. Somewhere deep inside your brain, love and survival are still connected. Why we are? Because the answers are always stranger than you think.